I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're exploring the enchanting and mischievous world of Eight-Year-Old Monster. That's right, that's the name of a book by Cody Schaefer, where an extraordinary young protagonist challenges the norms with magical marvels and a daring attitude. We're going to dive into a story that promises laughter, adventure, and a fresh perspective on what it means to be different. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank our team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his wonderful book. The links are below this interview. Cody, thanks so much for being our guest here today on Spotlight.
Yeah, no problem.
Love the hero of the book, the main character who embraces being a monster at a young age. Tell us what your inspiration behind that character is or was.
On the one hand, pure absolute boredom, because it's not my first book. My first book, the first sentence, uh, has a different protagonist, but same sort of situations, but a little bit more darker. But anyways, for Xena, the main character of Eight-Year-Old Monster, uh, I wanted to make a character that wasn't human. So I thought, what if I crossed the main character with elf? And then, oh, what if I added in a dwarf? And oh, what if I added in so on and so forth? And it once I got down to like the fifth add-in, I was like, I can't come up with a name of this other than a monster. So I was like, what if I just made the character a monster? So I just changed all the add-ins for the character and added and created a few new ones. And then that's when I came up with a Deadly Zin, which is what my main character is.
Awesome.
Which,
And that's kind of the beauty of writing, right? Is that you have a blank page. You can make that blank page anything you want. You can make it part elf, you can make it part monster, you can make it part anything.
yeah.
And so that's very, very cool about this book. Let's give the folks at home the big picture. What's the story all about?
So, since it's a cultivation comedy book, I mostly just trying to make the people who read the book laugh, and the few readers who I talk to daily, who are my friends who've read the book, uh, all I'll find several different parts of the book laugh. Like in chapter 17, one of the characters, Cammy, is like, "Hey, who's that guy?" And it's on this like big stage, and the guy who walks up on the stage she's asking about, uh, he's like, "Hello, I am Orn or Wang Shitong," and she's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know who he is." But like that's like what I made it for. But also with the cultivation book, the main character is always like trying to improve themselves through spiritual means, and that's also part of the magic system in the book. So it's a lot of self-improvement as well as improving other people's experiences, I would
Who's your
say.
audience? Who's your reader?
Young adults, so like high school level readers, because like I have a lot of cursing in the book, to be fair. So I would say like high schoolers, because a lot of the high schoolers that I know don't shy away from cursing, especially in Montana. And I was definitely one of those kids when I was growing up too. So young adults.
You know, I think what's interesting about your book is I think at every point in your life, at one time or another, we all feel like monsters. We all feel different. We all feel weird, right?
Yeah,
It's
of
kind of the
course.
point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, One of my characters' developments in the book is because, like, as you were saying, we all feel that way, but like some of us more than others, especially if we feel different.
Yeah.
So uh since she is so very different from like literally every other race in the world that I made, literally one of a kind. Uh, the people in the village that she's currently living in all point her out and just despise her because she is simply a monster.
Mm.
Uh, and eventually through the book, she starts to like slowly embrace that side of her rather than shy away from it, even though it's still a struggle.
Yeah.
And she soon gets over it and uh, gets used to it, and whatever words the villagers throw at her just doesn't affect her anymore by the end of the book.
Absolutely. Have you visualized this book perhaps as a movie or a series?
Uh, not as a movie, because like as a movie you have to like always cut out a little bit every
Hmm.
once in a while. So like as more of a TV series, and I'm more of an anime fan.
Hmm.
So I've always pictured it as an anime. That's why I have such a very specific character look for a character on the main cover.
Yeah, absolutely. And how did you get that cover together? It's quite impressive.
Well, I had the uh character in my head, of course.
Mhm.
Uh and I had two artists that I knew I could get commissions from. One is my tattoo artist,
Mhm.
the other is Black Fairy Art on Instagram. She does a lot of not safe for work art, but her art style is just freaking beautiful. And my tattoo artist couldn't do it this time, so I just reached out to her and she was able to do it. And I am very pleased with the uh result of it. And like if you look closely at it, like right here, you can't really see it
Mhm.
because it's an off the copy.
Yep.
One of the tails has a whole mouth and tongue and eyes, and
Very
that's like
cool.
part of the monster part of the main character.
Very cool. Very cool.
So like I love the little details that she has in the artwork.
Without a
Beautiful.
doubt. Tell me a little bit about your other work as a writer. How many books have you written? Are they similar type of creative fiction?
Yeah, definitely similar type of creative fiction. Uh my only other book that's out on Amazon is the first dungeons, seven dungeons worlds, which is where I started. And it is my one uh 8-year-old monster is my third series that I've started writing. I have a bad case of new idea syndrome. It's a writer thing where whenever I have a new idea, I just have to start working on it. So I have First Dungeons, the Seven Dungeon World series. I have the Reavers. I have the Monster series, 8-year-old monster, and then Unseen Adventures, which is my fourth one, and I haven't worked a whole lot on that one either.
Gotcha.
So
8-Year-Old
all
Monster
that
is book one of how many books you're going to write or have written
uh
in the series?
it's book one of my third series.
Okay.
So
So a sequel at least is to follow.
yes, it
Okay.
is. Literally, it took me so long to publish 8-year-old monster that I've almost finished book two.
Gotcha.
I have like 3 or 4 more chapters before it's done.
Cool, cool. Tell me about the writing process. Do you enjoy living in that world of a monster you've created and all of her
Oh,
surroundings?
absolutely. Like
Yeah.
uh most authors that I see like always have like an outline, a single plan to make the book. I don't do that.
Mm.
I just sit down, look at my Word document, and is like, okay, this seems fun to write. Do. And I end up with after 4 hours about six 8 by 11 pages. That's
Mm.
front and back as well, which translates to about 20 or so 6 by 9 pages in book format.
Hmm.
So and like that's like 4 hours once a day for 2 days, because that's the only time I have off work to actually sit down and do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you're doing great. You've been very prolific with limited time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that great inspiration comes when you're squeezed and have to find time to do your writing. Do you think that you have redefined the term monster in many ways for your readers?
I think so, because like I'm definitely not the first one, but I hope that I won't be the last one, because like monster is always a different term, and like I do sort of hint at what I think a monster would actually be in
Mhm.
the book, with the main antagonist. I'm not going to say his name, but uh, if you read enough of it, you'll know him. Uh, because the main antagonist looks normal, like you or I, and
Mm.
but yeah, he just uh what's the word?
He kind of just
He
fits in.
just he just feels like a bad guy. He feels like a monster,
Mm.
although he doesn't look like one. He
Exactly.
doesn't act like one, but he just feels like one.
Yeah.
So like I hint at that with him, and so
Yeah, I think it's a great
yeah,
juxtaposition to have a monster who's good and a good guy who's really a monster. I mean, you got to keep
yeah,
in mind Lucifer who's Satan, was God's
yeah.
most beautiful angel. So sometimes bad things come in good-looking packages. Cody Schaefer has written a remarkable book, a book you'll just love getting lost in the pages of. It is called 8-Year-Old Monster. It is a story of a young protagonist who challenges the norms with magical marvels and a daring attitude, and just might redefine how you view monsters in the future. Cody, thanks so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
Yeah, no problem.
Enjoyed having you, my friend. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.